Luis on the outs for the first nice day in a long time, actually. And I've got my camera set like this so hopefully you can see how marvellous it is. There's Easton Tor. Here's me and Luis. So the weather's been absolutely crappy for ages. I better pick up his rope, hadn't I? Just in case. We've just seen a load of deer actually. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about Luis because he is a special and interesting horse. So for those of you who know him, he's half Lusitano and half coloured cob, and he was gifted to me by a friend, but it wasn't the intention. So I'd always hankered after Luis. Luis was bred by Tom and Sarah, and he's a bit of a interesting cross in terms of how he's turned out conformationally, but I am delighted by his brain. He has such a lovely brain, and I think one of the most handsome heads I've ever seen. So my friend Mark started him and did a marvellous job with him, and I lusted after him, Luis, for a long time. And then Mark decided that he really was too big for Luis, and would I be interested in taking him on. So Luis turned up and got off the Lorry Lane, and he had not gone onto the Lorry Lane. And then he was very lame for a long time, so Mark and I investigated what was going on, and it turned out he had lateral ligament damage and many things wrong in his feet. Luis, he's really cross and telling me about his bad things, but we'll get onto his very good things in a minute. And I think what had happened, it was a very long lorry journey, and Luis is an extremely person and horse-centred horse. And I think his body went into a state of overwhelm in the lorry, and extreme inflammation kicked in. So he clearly had some conformational challenges in his feet anyway. That was definitely the case. But he had been sound and working up until that point. And yeah, he is lovely, Paul. He's an absolute gem. And it was like his entire body collapsed over the course of the next 6 months. He lost all his strength, he was constantly lame, his back was sore, I had his back x-rayed, I had his hind legs x-rayed, and nothing really showed up other than stuff in his feet that hadn't been giving him grief up until that point. And I think that long journey and leaving a human he was really attached to and horses he was really attached to put his body into a state of trauma and overwhelm, basically. And I know how that feels myself. I'm sure many of us humans do. I had a situation a few months ago which for my nervous system was extremely traumatic, and I've been suffering quite a lot of chronic pain ever since. And it's really made me think about how often that is the case for them. So I think I've had Luis for 4 years now, and it's only really been in the last 18 months max that he has been consistently healthy and okay. I think it took him a really long time to get over a huge change in circumstances, a huge change in personnel. I think he was very close to Mark, and what he considered to be a stressful journey in a lorry, and his whole system collapsed basically, and it's taken a huge amount of professional intervention, equine intervention. He's got a really stable herd that he's very happy to be in charge of, and some really good humans in his life, Adam being one of them. He loves Adam a great deal. I hope I'm a good person for him, and he really enjoyed having Lisanna to stay recently. She was a good person for him. What he's trying to get me to do is a particular little spot just there that Luis likes having scratched. So it's been a lot of work on his feet, because his feet did go crazy. Many hours trying to understand what saddle would suit him the best, because it was like everything had to be right for Luis. His diet, his turnout, and then some mistakes that I've made along the way. When I did start riding him again, I made assumptions about what he knew or what he would understand from me. Be careful with that. I went in too fast, actually, for Luis. I made too many assumptions about things he would be able to go with. And for instance, the snaffle bit is a really recent reintroduction. So for ages I rode him bitless. And then his absolute favourite setup is a cavesson and a curb. So riding him in like a double bridle but without the snaffle. But he is going to soon take on the task of ponying the babies, and that would be much easier if he could do that in the snaffle and safer than involving a curb. So I am absolutely going back to ground zero and trying to check out that I'm not making any assumptions about what Luis understands or what he knows. So really, really black and white thinking about it, and it's going well. But for me, it's just been such a lesson in how stress affects the body, sometimes in a catastrophic fashion in the way it did with Luis, and how long recovery can take, and how multifaceted the recovery process is, and how you need a great team around you. I'm very grateful to my vets. I'm extremely grateful to Nigel, my foot trimmer, and also we had a great farrier who put some plastic shoes on him for a while. And I'm super grateful to Luis for waiting, really, for staying alive, and for waiting for me to catch up with all the things that he needed, and just for being the glorious beast that he is, really. But I just think we can expect a lot of them, and things like moving can have a profound impact on them, and we can overestimate, I can never remember which way around it is, how long it can take for a horse to recover from something. So he's been an excellent teacher for me, and I'm really grateful for the things I can share with other people as a result of what I've learned from Luis, and I think he's going to teach the babies some great lessons. So anyway, lovely to see some of you. Good morning, and it is really nice to be up here with the weather a little bit more kindly. Bye!